Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of For You from Eve. I am your host, Olivia Eve, back with another For You Friday series. Let's go ahead and enjoy today's episode. I want to give a little bit of an introduction to any new listeners I might have. So I did take last week off from podcasting because I had just been not feeling well. I kind of still am a little bit stuffy, but I feel like this whole month, it's like every week I'm getting a cold again. I'm waking up with like a bad cough or stuffy nose, and it's like even if I test negative for everything, the doctor's like it's just the weather change. So I'm kind of just like adjusting to that and dealing with that, but I've been dealing with that pretty recently, and that is why I took last week off, because I was not feeling the best. I was feeling really bad last week, like coughing horribly, my throat was killing me, it was just not good. But of course I feel better today and I'm back to recording, which I am so excited about. I recently just started to work with a new agency, and I have a lot of exciting things in the works, a lot of new sponsors, and I feel like I've been feeling a lot of imposter syndrome, like having all these accomplishments happen to me. It's like, wait, what did I do to deserve this? You know, it just feels very surreal. And it ties in with today's episode. I wanted to talk a little bit about just being on your own, isolating yourself from everyone, all that stuff, because that's what I've been doing recently. In the past month, I think I've just completely isolated myself. I have not wanted to go and make plans. I have not wanted to go be around my friends. And like, I'm one of those people that if I'm upset about something or I'm going through something, I don't go to people to distract me or go to people to talk about it. I do the complete opposite, where instead of going to people that would actually help me and that do care about me, I'm more like in self-isolation mode, and I'm more like, I just want to stay to myself. Like, I just want to be on my own. And I figure it out for myself, and I just kind of go the day by day doing things on my own, because I'm not good at talking about my problems and I'm not good at getting emotional with people. And so that's something that I definitely need to work on more, and realize that there are people in my life that care about me and want to help me through things. But, you know, sometimes we just kind of want to be on our own, and we want to deal with things on our own and figure it out by ourselves. And it could be hard for us to be around other people when we don't even want to be around ourselves. And so that's kind of what today's episode is going to be about, as you could tell from the title. I did ask you guys on Instagram this week to ask me questions if you've ever kind of experienced this feeling, and I did get a lot of questions from you guys, so I can tell a lot of you can relate to this episode, which will make me really happy. We can kind of get through it together, but I'm going to be going through the questions on Instagram on my phone right now. I will normally plan out an episode by going through the questions you guys ask me and like writing them down in my notes app and then planning out each answer and all that stuff, but I kind of wanted to try a different style today. There's someone walking their dog next to me, but I think this is just the transition I have to make for recording on camera. But I kind of wanted to make things a little bit different today, and I wanted to kind of just go through the questions and answer them super organically. So this is a very like raw, vulnerable episode. If you're watching this on YouTube, we are really like just on FaceTime right now. This is exactly what it feels like. But I want to go through the questions that you guys asked me on Instagram, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first question that I'm going to answer on Instagram is, how do you tell your friends that your social battery is running low? So I deal with this a lot because my friends, I'm very close with my friends. All my best friends are like my sisters. So I normally though, like I would say like 4 best girlfriends, like best girlfriends. And I would say that I'm very bad at going to my friends when it comes to my problems. And it's not because my friends aren't good friends that want to be there for me. It's just because I'm not like a super emotional, sensitive person. So I don't really like to show that side of myself, even though there's nothing wrong with being emotional or sensitive. I'm just not good at showing that side of myself. And so when it comes to my friends, as amazing as they are when I do go to them, it's hard for me to get comfortable enough to go to them and to want to open up about something. And I'm also someone that's really low key. So when I go through something, I don't like to tell a lot of people about it, also because I just don't want other people's opinions or input. Even if they might help, I'm like, so like, I know what I think, I know what I believe, I'm going to stick with that. So I go completely MIA when it comes to my friends, where I don't tell them what's wrong, I don't tell them what's going on, I don't message them and say, hey, I'm really upset, can I talk about something? Like, I don't do any of that. I purely just deal with it on my own, or I will go to one person. So I will pick one friend that could kind of relate to me on what I'm talking about and can actually help me. I will go to that one friend and I will talk to them about it, and I will get their input and their advice on it. And then I'll kind of deal with it on my own and like want to spend more time by myself. But at least that one friend knows why I've been more MIA. But I will have like my friends text me and be like, what's going on? Like, is everything okay? Like, why are you going MIA? Like, why aren't you answering the group chat? Like, what's happening? And I'm always just like, no, I'm fine. Like, I'm fine. It's just a stressful week, or it's just a bad week. And I'll always just make an excuse for it. And it's not that I'm ashamed of having emotions, or that I'm afraid to show emotions, or afraid to show if I'm being sensitive. I just think because I'm not a super sensitive person, I feel like there's no right to be upset over what I'm upset over, which is not the best way to think about things, but that's just how I get sometimes. So my thing on what I do is that when my social battery is running low, I don't really try to control myself from it. Like, I don't really try to force myself to go out if I don't want to go out. I don't try to force myself to answer messages if I don't want to like talk to anyone. I really will just shut myself out. And a lot of the time, like, if your friends don't like that, or your friends feel like, you know, they really want you to come to them about stuff, which I totally get, like, they're friends, they're going to want to be there for you. I don't think there's anything wrong with just going a little MIA. And if your friends question it, just message them and be like, hey, like, honestly, I'm going through something. I'm not ready to talk about it right now, but I will talk to you about it when I'm ready. Like, everything's okay, but I just need, like, to spend a little bit of time by myself right now. Like, I need to kind of just focus on me, focus on my mental health, and get myself back on track before I talk about these issues. And the right friend will understand that and will say, okay, like, I'm here for you whenever you want to reach out, and, you know, that'll be that, and it won't be a big problem. The wrong friend will be like, that's not how you deal with emotions. That's not how you deal with problems. Like, I remember I posted a TikTok once, and the audio of the TikTok was basically saying how it's so hard to entertain other people and to be around other people when you're not feeling yourself, and when you're not feeling like yourself, and when you're kind of at a low point with yourself, and how hard it is to be around people when you're in a dark spot, you know, on your own. And I remember, like, some girl tagged her friend and was like, think about this next time you know, get mad at me for going a little MIA. And her friend responded back and was like, girl, like, you're not helping yourself by shutting yourself off from everyone and being boring. And I don't really respond to a lot of comments, but I remember I responded back and I was like, you're not allowed to tell her how she heals. Like, it's not even that I was trying to, like, create a problem, but I got really angry because when people try to heal and they're on their healing journey and they're trying to, like, figure themselves out and they go a little MIA and people use the word boring towards them, it's like, come on. Like, you have to understand that, like, not everyone heals in the same way. It's like after a breakup, if, you know, the boy goes and, like, completely just, like, goes rogue and hooks up with all these girls and, like, whatever, and then, like, a few months later he's like, damn, I want her back, but the girl moves on, and then, like, you know, the girl, like, gets really sad about it first and then moves on. I get really upset if, like, someone is trying to heal in a way where they're going MIA and they're, like, trying to be on their own, and then someone tells them that's not how you're supposed to heal. Like, who are you to tell me how I'm supposed to heal myself, and what does this have anything to do with you? So I think just making sure you're going to your friends in a way where you let them know, hey, I'm not ready to completely talk about what's going on. If you don't want to talk about it, obviously go to your friends and talk about it if you want to talk about it. But if you're not ready to talk about it, I would really just tell them, like, hey, I'm not really ready to talk about in detail what's going on, but I have been going through a lot right now, and as much as I know you're there for me and as much as I know you love me and care about me, I need to kind of, like, pull myself away from social settings for a little bit, and the right friend will understand and the right friend will respect that. The next question that I got is, I love being on my own. I do enjoy myself and my own company a lot. I also love my friends, but I can't hang out with them for more than 2 hours. I feel the need to be alone quickly. I would say you're kind of going through, like, a low social battery phase, which is what I've been kind of going through the past few months, where I've learned to protect my peace and love being with myself so much that it's, like, all I want to do, which honestly isn't the healthiest thing either, to only want to be by yourself, because social interaction and, you know, valuing your friendships and your relationships is important. But I've also done this where I protect my peace a little bit too much. That's, like, all over my TikTok right now. It'll be a girl and she's like, I protected my peace way too much and now it's Saturday at 9 p.m. and I have no plans and look, whatever. I think for me, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me to enjoy spending time with myself, because if other people had plans that I wasn't invited to or that I wasn't included in or involved in or whatever, I would get really upset and I'd be like, damn, like, I'm home while all these people are doing this and now I don't know what to do with myself and I don't know what to do and whatever. Whereas now it's like, if plans are made that I'm not involved in, it doesn't bother me, and I'm kind of just like, who cares? Like, I could have fun by myself, and I could order takeout and watch a movie and meditate and do YouTube and like whatever it is. So it's like, I used to get really upset about those things, and I used to get really upset about not being included, but then I learned to love hanging out with myself, and now I don't get bothered by those things. But if you're at a point right now where you love hanging out with yourself so much that you no longer have a social battery for other people, first of all, I relate. Second of all, I feel like you just kind of need to make sure you're around the right people. You should never feel drained or exhausted being around people. Like, if you hang out with your friends, you shouldn't go home after hanging out with your friends feeling drained or exhausted. Like, you shouldn't go home from hanging out with your friends just feeling like mentally exhausted and being like, oh my God, like physically, mentally, or emotionally drained. Like, you should be like going home and like being, I miss them, I wish I could see them more, like whatever it is. So if you are going home feeling super drained, maybe you need to kind of check like who your friends are. Maybe you need to make sure you are friends with the right people, and that, you know, maybe you're not enjoying what you're doing with your friends. That's something you don't like doing. And it's not that you don't like your friends, but maybe you just don't like doing the things that your friends do. So this is something I struggled with too, where there was like a point where I couldn't drink, I think for like 2 summers in a row, because I was on spironolactone, which is an acne medication. So I couldn't drink on it. And because I couldn't drink on it, I didn't really have the urge to go out anymore. Like, I didn't have the urge to go out to clubs or bars because I had to be sober, and it was just like a waste of money to be like spending a bunch of money on not even like drinking and whatever. And so I slowly started to not want to go out with my friends because that was all they had been doing, and I didn't want to stop anyone from doing that because we're early in our 20s, very, very early in our 20s. All my friends are like 21, 22. Those are things that you want to experience in your 20s, which I totally understand. But then at the same time, it was like I couldn't experience them the same way. And so I drifted a lot from my friends because I could not experience those things. And so I think for me, it just became one of those things where I started to drift from my friends because I did not like what they were doing. I had no interest in what they were doing. Maybe if you hang out with your friends and you need to make sure like you're actually enjoying your time with them. Like, if after 2 hours you're bored and you want to go home, I understand wanting to kind of spend time with yourself, but I think that's kind of a bigger issue of maybe not liking who you're around or what you're doing when you're around them. Because I will hang out with certain people and we'll be doing a certain thing, and I'm like, this is so fun. Like, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to go home. But then I'll be with like a different group of people doing something different, and I'm like, I just want to be in my bed. Like, I really just want to be in my bed, watching a video, eating a snack, and like that's all I want to be doing right now. So I think it's different for everyone, but I think you also, the biggest thing is to make sure you love who you're around and love what you're doing when you're around those people. I love this question because I have struggled with this so much in the past, and I have trained myself to be so good at this. What can you do to be more open and be confident to talk to people and make friends? I was so bad at this. So in high school, I went to a really small high school. So in high school, it wasn't like I was popular, but it was like such a small high school that pretty much everyone knew each other. So I had a really big group of friends in high school because it was such a small school. I played sports, so I always had like the soccer team and the basketball team as my friends. Like, I was just very involved in high school. And so I had a big group of friends in high school, and when I graduated high school, I kind of knew that the friends that I had in high school, I wasn't going to be friends with outside of high school. Like, I knew I really wasn't going to relate to them the same and stuff once I graduated and started college. And so when I graduated high school, I didn't have any high school friends. Maybe one that like I barely hang out with, but like it was on good terms with. But I have a lot of like friends that I grew up with my whole life that I feel like maybe is why I never felt the urge to make friends, is because I've had childhood friends since I was literally born. My 3 best friends have been my best friends since I was maybe 2 years old. So it's like I never felt the need to go and branch out and be friends with other people, because I was like, well, I already have my friends. Like, why do I need to make more friends in college or in high school or whatever it was? Same thing with my guy friends. I've been friends with them for so long that I never felt the urge to make friends. And then when I started college, I got into a very like closing myself off mindset where I only wanted to be friends with my childhood friends and with my boyfriend. Like, those were the only people I wanted to spend time with. I would make classroom friends, but that was it. I wouldn't really go further than that because I didn't feel the need to like do that. And just eventually got to a point where I was just very lonely at some parts, and I felt like I was missing out on a lot. And so I never really had the confidence to just go up to people and be like, let me make friends, like, let me be friends with you, like, let's talk about this or do this or, whatever it is. I never felt the urge to do that. And then recently, I've been a lot more open with people and a lot more like joking around and friendly with people. Like, I would go into the gym with my headphones on, my hat on, my hood on, my like everything was covered up, and I like wouldn't look up once. Or if I did look up once and made eye contact with someone, I would look away right away because I had no urge to make other friends because I was like, I already have friends. Why do I need to make more? And so I just never had the confidence to talk to people and be more open with people and to be more friendly because, number one, never had the urge to make new friends. Number two, I wasn't the most confident person when it came to my personality. I feel like growing up, I had people that loved my personality, like my childhood friends loved my personality, but I also had people that were like, this girl is so loud, this girl is so annoying, this girl like laughs too much, makes too many jokes, whatever it was. And so when I was in high school, I did get that a lot of like, this girl's way too loud. And I was a very loud person, and I never cared. I don't care right now what people think of me, but I do think it shaped me a lot where I'm not my same self. I'm not as positive as I used to be. I don't laugh as much as I used to or smile as much as I used to. I'm a lot more closed off, and it's a lot harder for me to show people my full personality and to get comfortable with people because of things I've heard about me and like the way people like have been rubbed off by me. And so because of those negative experiences I've had with people, even though right now today I couldn't care less if someone had something to say about me, I used to. And because I felt that way, if you've ever been dragged down by someone for just who you are, like if someone drags you down because they're like, I don't like her outfit today, I don't like her hair today, I don't like the way she did her makeup, it's like, whatever, that's a temporary thing. You did it once, you can figure it out. If you didn't like it, whatever. But when someone like insults who you are as a person or like a personality trait that you have, it's like, damn, like that really hurts. And that does affect you because you're like, wait, I love that personality trait about myself. But the fact that people have to leave a room because I'm too loud for them or like, they get annoyed by me or whatever. Like my biggest insult is when people call me annoying. Like I cannot deal with people who think I'm annoying. I'm a lot more of a chill, like quiet person now than I used to be, but when people call me annoying, it like rages some type of urge in me where I'm just like, absolutely not, I will never talk to you again. Like if I laugh in front of someone, I have like a really obnoxious laugh sometimes where I'll like scream before I laugh. If I scream laugh and someone in the room is like, oh, that was so loud, I will never scream laugh in front of you again because you just ruined my mood. Not because I care that it bothers you, but because you just pissed me off. So that's kind of how I am when it comes to those things where the reason it was so difficult for me to open up and make new friends was because of the fact that I had been put down when I tried to make new friends or when I tried to get into a new group and like whatever. Now I'm at a point where I've been my full personality with some new people and I see my full personality getting like appreciated and like complimented, and I'm like, wait, I like deserve this. Like I am a cool person to be around. I am a fun person and a funny person to be around. Like once you know your worth, once you know what you bring to the table, you're not going to question whether you're worth someone's friendship. You're going to question whether this person is worthy of you. And obviously that doesn't have to come off in a cocky way of like, I'm the best. And you walk into a room, I'm the prettiest and the smartest here. But in your head, you should be thinking that because you should be cocky in your head. It's not cocky. It's just confidence if you don't say it out loud. And so I think being confident in yourself internally is one of the best things you can do for yourself because you will know your worth and your value like no one else, and nothing that anyone ever says about you or says to you will affect you because you know how you feel about yourself and you know why you love yourself and you know what you bring to the table and you know your worth. The best way to be more open and talk to more people is just be more friendly. Like people love making new friends. Not everyone, but majority of people love making new friends. So just be more friendly, be more confident. Like you are a great person and you deserve to make new friends and you deserve to be recognized for how great of a friend you are. This is something I struggled with a lot, like I said, because I got very comfortable with who I was already friends with. But now I'm at a point where it's like, even though I'm happy I have my childhood friends to always lean back on and to always love me and to always love, I'm still like, it's still fun to make new friends that shape different areas and parts of your life. The next question that I got, that I also love this question because this is something I learned on my own as well. How can I get the confidence to do things alone? So going back to how I used to be very dependent on my friends or whoever I was dating. And it was like one of those things where I couldn't go to the grocery store by myself. I didn't want to get my nails done by myself. I wanted to do everything with my friends. And it was more so when I first started driving. Like when I had first gotten my license, I always wanted to be somewhere, but I never wanted to be somewhere alone. Like right now, I'm sitting in a parking lot of a park with a camera in front of me and a microphone in my hand, and there are people just walking back and forth in front of me, and I'm alone. Like if I had someone next to me, I'd be a little bit more confident and like wouldn't care, but I'm fully alone. It's making me anxious that I'm doing this alone, but I'm also like, I feel like over time I've just learned to do things on my own and to be confident on my own and to figure it out on my own. So like I said, I used to have to do everything with other people, whether it was going to run errands, going to a party, going to dinner, no matter what it was, I had to have someone with me. I could never walk into a room alone and like do things on my own and figure it out for my own. And I think the best way for me to fix that, the way I fixed it, is to just force myself to do it and step out of my comfort zone. When I went to school in New York, I went to school in New York for a year. I went to Pace University. And I had been to New York a few times before Pace University, but like I really was jumping into something that I didn't know what to expect and really stepping out of my comfort zone. And I remember just being so terrified of that part of my life because I was like, how am I supposed to do this? Like, I'm going to commute by myself. I'm going to do so much by myself. Am I going to be able to make friends if I'm a commuter, not a dormer? So many things were running through my mind. I remember just feeling like really anxious in the beginning of me going to school there because I learned I had to do everything on my own. I was commuting by myself. I was grabbing food by myself. And then within like the last few months of me going to this school, I would like grab dinner, sit in a restaurant by myself and eat dinner. And there was like nothing weird about it to me. Like people are used to the weirdest things in New York, but it took a while for me to adjust to spending that time by myself and stuff. So I think over time, I've really learned how to be on my own because of the experience I had in New York. Right now, I do pretty much everything on my own. I think it's just a part of adulting. I go to school by myself. I go to the gym by myself. I go run my errands by myself, grocery shopping, nail appointments. I do pretty much everything on my own. But I will, reach out to my friends to do things with me sometimes because as much as I want to value that relationship with myself and value that alone time, I still want to make sure I'm making time for my friendships. So literally the other day I wanted to get a massage and I texted my friend and I was like, hey, you want to get a massage like tomorrow night? And she was like, yeah, I'm down. And it was just nice to have that one-on-one time with her. And on top of having that one-on-one time with her, it's like I made time for a friend. Like I made time prioritizing my friend because I got so used to doing things on my own that I wasn't prioritizing or cherishing my friendships anymore. And now I'm at a point where I'm so comfortable with myself that if all my friends are busy, I'm okay being on my own. I'm okay doing something with myself, but I'm also more inclined to make better, and stronger friendships with the people I have in my life now. I think the best way to do things alone with confidence is just to practice and pull yourself out of that comfort zone. It's not going to be easy, especially at first. It's going to feel really weird, especially if you're used to doing things by yourself. Going to the gym by myself was a really scary thing. But once you finally pull yourself out of that comfort zone and you place yourself in the situation, you'll be forced to adjust. And this is why I always say your comfort zone will destroy you and it'll destroy your potential because when you stay in this little bubble of being comfortable, you don't branch out, don't go and try new things, you don't try to meet new people or like learn new things about yourself. And that is exactly where you stop growing. And my experience in New York and my experience going to school helped me grow in a way where it taught me how to be on my own. It taught me how to do things on my own. And I'm so forever grateful for that because now I'm at a point in my life where I can do everything on my own without even having someone with me, or not even without having someone with me, but not even having someone to talk to about it. Like I can do things by myself and not have to talk to anyone about it or tell anyone what I'm doing. And it helped my social anxiety a lot when I learned to do things on my own. So my biggest tip for you is just go out there, force yourself to do it. Take yourself on a date. If you live near New York or you live near a city, go near a city, go shopping, take yourself out for lunch. Just have a day by yourself or maybe have like a night in by yourself. Order yourself some takeout, have a movie, and then like the next day go and run errands by yourself, get your nails done by yourself, like go on a hike by yourself. Like whatever it is, do something where it's just you and get excited for it and plan it. So I think the only way that you can get comfortable and confident doing something like that is just forcing yourself to do it. The next question that I got is wanting to be by yourself a lot a bad thing? I don't think so. I don't think it is. And I think a lot of people would say yes if you aren't also valuing your friendships, which I think people think you can't do both. I have spent the last few months, maybe even the past year, completely isolating myself from people. I'll go to like main events, I'll go to birthday parties and Halloween parties, and I'll go and hang out with my friends occasionally, but not as much as I used to. And it was because I just learned to love being by myself, and I loved being with the person that I was dating. Like, that was all that I wanted to be. Like, that was all I wanted. And now I'm at a point where I'm trying to now I'm at a point where I'm like, wait, I miss being so close with my friends. I miss seeing my friends so much and hanging out with my friends so much. And so I feel like I'm in a spot right now where, as much as I love being alone, I'm also realizing and recognizing, wait, you need to also maintain your friendships, because if you're not putting effort into your friendships, your friends are not going to put effort into you, because you don't deserve it if you're not doing the same for them. And so recently I've been really wanting to cherish that time with my friends and spend more time with them. I don't think wanting to be alone a lot is a bad thing necessarily. I think whatever works with your life and works with your schedule and works with your preference in that moment is what you should do. I think everyone should just do whatever makes them happy. But you also have to make sure that you're not isolating yourself too long of a point where you're losing the people in your life, because people could know you're going through something and that you want to isolate a little bit if you're letting them know that. But if you just isolate and go MIA, people are going to think it has to do with them. People are going to think they did something wrong. People are going to think you don't want to be around them. So you have to make sure that you're if you are self-isolating or you are going MIA, you're letting people know, not people, because not everyone deserves an explanation, but you're letting your friends know, because your friends will start to see that as, she just doesn't want to be around us. I had the same issue where I kind of went a little bit MIA because I was going through personal stuff, and my friends were like, you don't want to be around us anymore. You don't want to hang out with us anymore. You don't want to be a part of this group anymore. You don't want to be, part of our plans. And then it just makes you feel like shit, because you're like, well, no, I'm just healing, but I don't want to explain why I'm healing to everyone. So I think that if it drags you to a point where you're losing your friends, then it is a bad thing. But I think if it's just a preference thing, there's nothing wrong with that. If you prefer being alone than with other people, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you have to make sure that there are people you like to be around as much as you like being with yourself. The next question that I got is how to learn to be off social media. So when I'm going through something, I'm just off social media without even trying to be. Like I said, I think it's been almost 2 weeks that I've barely been posting. If I'm going through something, I don't really have to force myself to get off social media. It kind of just happens, and I don't have urge or motivation or inspiration to post. So that's kind of what happened to me with For You From Eve recently, is that I just had no motivation to post. If you need to kind of take a break from social media, but it's not easy for you to get off of it, I think the number one thing you could do is you could take your notifications off for social media. So Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever social media that you use that you don't really want to be on, turn off the notifications in your settings app, because I feel like when you have notifications on for it, it's you're more inclined to go on it if you get notified about something. So turn off your notifications, which could help you to go onto it less. So that'll help you to go on your phone less. Also, you could set timers on your phone. So you could set a social media app timer where after 30 minutes of scrolling through your phone, it'll notify you hey, you've been on TikTok for 30 minutes. It's time for you to get off or whatever. And also, I used to have a burner account where I would follow a bunch of motivational, inspirational influencers and not follow anyone personally. I wouldn't post anything personally. It was an account where I literally just followed influencers. So that way, if I ever wanted to take a social media break, I would log out of my personal Instagram so I didn't see anyone I know personally, so that I wasn't posting anything. But then I would have my burner account just for motivational, exercises I could watch, or just getting that daily motivation or inspiration from influencers who influence me. And so that has been something that helped me a lot, is having that burner account, because it does have me spend less time on my phone. And if I am on my phone, I'm seeing more of inspirational stuff opposed to things that are just going to distract me and be a little bit more negative, or all that stuff. those are all the questions I'm going to answer for today's episode. I want to thank all of you so much for listening to today's episode. But thank you so much to everybody that submitted a question to me. It has been amazing to talk to you guys today and to be back. I'm going to be, working on a lot of things for You from Eve, so I'm very excited for you guys to see all of that. But thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you next week.